Today I'm showing you how to make a cupcake wreath perfect for your Christmas parties. To start, I'm going to show you how to make the icing. So add your butter into a big bowl and give it a beat to make sure it's nice and soft. Next, sift in your icing sugar. Add in your milk and half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. You want to mix that in but on a low speed because the icing sugar is going to fly everywhere. So just be careful. Once it's come together, grab your spatula and scrape down the sides of the bowl. Now I want to turn your mixer on high and beat for about 5 to 6 minutes. So I have been beating my icing for about 5 minutes now and it's lovely and fluffy, so I'm going to add in the colour. I'm using Kerry green from Wilton, and don't forget a little goes a long way, so start off with a small amount and you can always add more. So I'm going to grab a toothpick and dip it into my pot of colour. So insert your toothpick into your buttercream and then give that a mix around. So I definitely need a lot more green than that, but it's best to start off small. Once you have your desired colour, you want to add it into a large piping bag, and I'm using a star nozzle. For more great recipes like this, click the subscribe button and feel free to share it with your friends. So if you make this or any of my other recipes, don't forget to tag me on Facebook or Instagram in the kitchen with Kate. I'm just going to tie off the end of the bag so none of the icing can spill out the top. I'm just going to leave that on the side while I sort out my cupcakes. For the wreath, you're going to need 24 cupcakes. You can either use a preferred recipe or watch one of my videos here, but you'll just have to double the quantities. Now some of my cupcakes came out a bit uneven with a slight dough, so I'm just going to take a knife and I'm going to shave the top off. So now my cupcakes are nice and even, I'm going to grab a 14-inch cake board, and this is what I'm going to decorate the cupcakes on. So we're going to create a circle around the outside with the cupcakes and then a smaller one inside with the remaining cupcakes. If your party's not that big, feel free to use a smaller amount of cupcakes. So I've got 15 cupcakes around the edge and I'm going to put the rest in the centre. Trying to put them as close as possible. Instead of seeing a silver board coming through, I'm just going to add some marshmallows into the centre. Next, you want to take your green icing and ice all of your cupcakes. So I'm starting in the centre of my cupcake and I'm going to swirl around, trying to join the icing onto the previous cupcake. So carry on with each of those. Next, we're going to make the bow. So I've got some red fondant here and I'm going to sprinkle some corn flour onto my work surface to stop it from sticking. You then want to grab your rolling pin and roll that out into a long rectangle. Make sure the thickness is nice and even, and don't forget to keep rotating it to stop it from sticking to your surface. So I've cut a strip 3 inches wide, and then I'm just going to neaten off the edges. To get nice straight edges, I just like to use a pizza cutter. Okay, and then it's up to you how big you want your bow. So I'm going to lift up the middle of my fondant to create a little well in the centre, and then I'm going to fold the edges back out. And as you can see, I've got a nice little bump there, and I'm just going to pinch that together. So it's like an untied bow tie. Next, I'm going to lift up the edges. I'm going to bend that in half and slot that into the little ridge. Once you've found your position, grab some water on the end of your finger and dab that in to glue it down. There we are, and then we're just going to let those two flap over to the side, and we've created half of our bow. Secure those on the side with some water, and then just repeat the same process on the other half. So I'm going to lift up the ends, create a bend in the middle, slot that in, and bend the rest over. Once you've got your bow, pinch it all together. To make it more realistic, we want to lift up the bow here, and I'm going to do that by adding in some cling film. Crunch up some cling film, and I'm going to add that into the bow to give it a bit more of a 3D effect. Then I just like to grab a pastry brush and brush off any of the excess corn flour. Once it's fully dried, it will be easier to get the rest off. Just pop that to the side. I'm going to make the band to wrap around the middle of the bow. So I'm going to roll out a bit of the excess fondant and just cut out a nice long strip. Up to you how wide you want to make that. Mine's about 3 centimeters wide, and I'm just going to wrap that over the center of the bow. Just secure that onto the back with some more water. You now want to leave that on the side until it sets. Next, you want to make the ends of the bow, so start off with a rectangular shape, and we're going to roll that out into a long, thick rectangle. So to create the ends, we want to have a nice straight edge, so I'm going to use a ruler to help me there, and I'm going to have these 3 centimeters wide. And then it's up to you how long you want your bows. For the bottom, I'm going to cut out a triangle in the middle, and then just create a backwards triangle the other end. So I've got a triangle going in and then triangle on top, so it could fit together. So there we have our 2 ribbons. Now it's time to decorate. I'm going to start with sprinkling over some Christmas coloured sprinkles. Next, you want to add the 2 ends of your bow. I'm going to place my bow at the top of my wreath, but you can place it at the bottom or wherever you'd like it. I'm going to place it in the centre, and I'm going to droop it over some of the cupcakes. And then just add your other one on the other side, crossing in the middle, and that's where your bow is going to sit on top. Once you're happy, you might want to dab a bit of water in between the 2 ribbons to help secure it. Next, you want to add on the bow, and this is good because you can hide any of the cupcakes that went a bit wrong. So I'm going to go about there. So I'm going to lift it up, dab some water on top of the ribbons so it can glue onto the cupcakes. You can keep the cling film in the middle just for now, and you can take them off when you're going to serve it. So you can stop the decorating there, but I'm going to add these cute little sugar decorations onto some of the cupcakes. Not only does this look great as a centerpiece, it's great for a party, as your guests don't have to worry about cutting any slices, they can just grab 1 or 2 when they want. So that's a cupcake wreath, perfect as a centerpiece for any Christmas party. Easy. For more videos, subscribe to my channel. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, and feel free to leave any requests in the comment box below.